Start. Does anyone have any idea what I'm trying to do or what I'm doing? This is my name. Any clues? Yeah, it's sign language for sure, but I'm giving you a clue. Oh, I already said my name, so this clue should be simple. Yes, Lilian. I work in the disability space. That sign was given to me by learners who are deaf. They use sign language, obviously, is their first language, and they use these signs to make it easy to remember names, to remember symbols, and whatnot. So in that regard, I would love to recognize any persons with disability in the room. Any? Thank you. For purposes of just inclusivity, I'll just show this is my name for persons who are deaf. For persons with visual impairments, I'm wearing a strip, blue and white, is it blouse or shirt? I don't know, and white trousers. The reason I'm saying that is most time we forget the basic etiquette when it comes to how we interact with persons who have disabilities. And in my case, I work a lot in the space of children with disabilities. I run an organization called UpTyke Education. We mostly publish and distribute digital learning content for basic education. So in essence, what it means, we make curriculums accessible for learners with disabilities across various disabilities, deaf communities, learners with visual impairments, and neurodivergent disabilities. And for me, since we do everything online, digital safety and digital well-being, it's at the core of what we do. For instance, we've been having a very big issue, and this is mainstream, even with regular learners, in terms of digital health. How many know about their children, for those of us with children, nieces and whatnot, how many of us know their digital interaction? Do you know they have social media? From as low as, I think, year 9 and year 6, and do you know what is happening? I've been to a lot of schools just to speak about digital safety and cyberbullying because it is a big issue. Children want to kill themselves. Not because of anything that is even happening at home, but because of cyberbullying. Now, not to mention, for now, learners with disabilities or children with disabilities. I'll give you a very simple, maybe explanation or maybe case study. When now it comes to education, not even about life skills and everything. For instance, you'll have materials that are supposed to be for education for all learners, including learners with disabilities. And the content, this is digital, will say, can you see the picture on the, on the screen? And now this content is supposed to be for learners with visual impairments, and you're saying, can you see? Now imagine this child is not able to see. So what are they feeling? Another would say, can you hear that sound? And the learner is deaf and they can't hear. So these are very small things to us, but it's a big concern for them when it comes to etiquette in terms of inclusivity. So now what we're trying to do is also advocate for inclusivity, especially on the digital platforms, on the digital content. For instance, how many of us in the organizations have websites, apps, any social media presence? Maybe by a show of hand. Websites. How many of us have integrated any accessibility features on their websites? Which one, quickly?
Dark modes or enlargement of fonts for those who cannot be able to see well.
Yeah. We live in a society whereby now for persons with disabilities, it's as if they live in their own world and we live in our own world. Now for adults, it's difficult. You can imagine for children, most of the platforms that they are supposed to access learning, they are not accessible. For instance, he mentioned just a few accessibility features. Dark mode, increasing the screen size, maybe screen readers. And these are not even very techy. There are so many plugins and softwares that you can embed on your platform to make these platforms accessible and inclusive for persons with disabilities. Those are just some of the basics that I mentioned. So for me, when we talk about digital wellness, it has to do about the physical well-being, emotional well-being, and now the education aspect. The education aspect, obviously following curriculums, the universal designs of how content is supposed to be. For learners who are deaf, obviously we embed a lot of sign language interaction in their content. For learners with visual impairments, we embed a lot of audio narration, audio descriptions, and also a lot of screen readers, plugins, and everything. But now when it comes to maybe outside of the education space, now into the real life interaction, social media, now that's where the monster is. Because there's, as much as we have the Child Data Protection and Child Protection Act of 2019, but it does not in any way talk about digital wellness. So I think even when we are having this discussion, we need to see how we can influence policy in that regard, in the extent that it speaks about child protection. But now we're in a digital era. There is nothing. I have read that document. There is nothing that speaks about digital wellness, digital mental health, and everything like that. Because there's a lot of cyberbullying happening online, on TikTok. Like for instance, there's a day, but this one was for an adult, which is not an excuse anyway. I was in a video of a person, a content creator. She has I don't know. Yes. So, and then she was doing her content. She's a great business lady and everything. People are supposed to learn from that and enjoy the content and everything. But someone is like, how do you hold your mic with those fingers? And in my head, I'm like, okay, as long as she's talking, she's communicating, she's saying what she's doing, what is your business, how she's holding the mic. Good thing about that lady has a lot of emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, so she's not affected. But now imagine, this is a child who has joined TikTok because her peers are on TikTok, and maybe she has one condition. Okay, let's scratch that. It's not a condition. She has a disability, and she's okay in her skin. She's loved at home, she's loved at school, and she has this idea of this beautiful world until now she comes to the online space. And then she posts her videos or his videos, and she's interacting and doing whatnot. And then such a comment is made to that child. Do you think the mental health of that child will remain the same? So I think we need to do a lot of awareness, a lot of monitoring, a lot of policies in terms of how we think about digital wellness, especially for children, for youth. And also I think it has a lot to do also, I'm not sure if this is part of the discussion we have, but we also have another monster that is part of digital. They are calling it digital betting, whatever that means. I'm sure a lot of you in the social media space have come across these monster. I don't want to call it, do not quote me on that, but yeah, I have no idea what it is. But apparently it's a big issue, especially in the online space. So someone would say, I put 100, it came 1,000, you and your pocket money, and then online addiction. So I think just to mention but a few of the interactions that I've had, but without saying too much, I would beg to now leave and also learn. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for her. Thank you very much. That was insightful. And I think the most important thing, can we extend this debate, this discussion going forward? I want to bring to our attention, because today we are opinionated populace. Opinionated populace. We have our smartphones, we have our gadgets. We'll allow you to start hashtag digital. Yes. do photos, we are allowed, do briefs, you are allowed, hashtag, yes, and you are actually agent of change. We start the discussion and let it grow like that. Without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, may I call Duncan to give us his remarks. Karibu sana Duncan.